The drama surrounding It Ends With Us is getting way worse as Blake Lively reacts strangely and accuses Justin Baldoni. Blake Lively has been reportedly doing what most fans of It Ends With Us fear most.
If you like our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified on our channel. What happens when two Hollywood stars clash behind the scenes of a major film? The fallout from It Ends With Us has sparked a media frenzy, with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni at the center of it all. From creative differences to personal accusations, this drama is far from over.
Understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you. What's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number.
During the promotional tours for It Ends With Us, fans began to sense that something wasn't quite right. Blake Lively was making all the appearances, dressed to the nines on the red carpet, alongside the rest of the cast, sharing the spotlight with Colleen Hoover, the author of the book. But noticeably absent was Justin Baldoni, the director and co-star of the film. This absence struck many as odd, particularly because it was Baldoni's production company that had acquired the rights to adapt Hoover's beloved novel. Given Baldoni's central role in both directing and acting, his absence seemed unusual. After all, the film was his project, and he had been involved in the process from the start. His company had been the driving force behind bringing It Ends With Us to the big screen, so it didn't take long for rumors to swirl about possible tension between him and Lively. The whispers began to spread, and soon fans were speculating that things were far from amicable between the two.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I'm gonna put it here because it doesn't go with my outfit, but I will wear it later.
As things unfolded, fans quickly began to pick sides, forming two very distinct camps, Team Blake and Team Justin. The whole situation blew up when people started noticing just how differently Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni were handling the promotion of It Ends With Us. On one side, you had Blake, who seemed to treat the film like a lighthearted romantic comedy. She was telling people to gather their friends, wear floral dresses, and have a fun time watching the movie. It didn't sit well with a lot of fans, especially since It Ends With Us is anything but a rom-com. The story deals with the very sensitive issue of domestic violence, so naturally, many people felt that Blake's tone wasn't appropriate for such a serious subject matter.
A group of women specifically behind me who are specialists in this space, and from the very beginning, we worked very hard to create a very truthful and honest story that could reflect.
In contrast, Justin Baldoni took a much different approach. Whenever he spoke about the film, he was very clear about the gravity of the themes, focusing heavily on the domestic violence storyline. He showed respect for the emotional depth of the story, and fans noticed. He consistently talked about the importance of raising awareness about these issues, which resonated with a lot of people. His serious and thoughtful approach made it seem like he was trying to ensure the movie stayed true to its emotional roots, something Blake appeared to be glossing over in her interviews. Things went from bad to worse when Justin Baldoni brought in the big guns. He hired the same PR crisis manager that Johnny Depp used during his infamous trial with Amber Heard. At that point, it became clear to everyone that the situation wasn't just a minor spat between co-workers. It was serious enough that Baldoni felt the need to protect his image, and that move sent a clear message. Something big was brewing behind the scenes. Fans, who were already suspicious about the growing tension between Blake and Justin, now felt like they were watching a full-on fallout unfold in real time.
And I didn't understand how it happened because at the time I wasn't on TikTok. I didn't even know what TikTok was. So I just remember just being like, wait, what is happening? And then also feeling...
To make things even more complicated, old clips from Blake Lively's past interviews began popping up all over social media. People started analyzing her words, her tone, and even her body language, pointing out moments where she seemed a little too carefree or even out of touch. Some of her comments didn't sit well with fans, especially considering the serious nature of the movie. In one particular instance, Blake had given a rather flippant response when asked how she would connect with fans who might relate to the film's theme of domestic violence. Her response was meant to be lighthearted, but it came off as completely tone-deaf given the subject matter. As these clips gained traction, the backlash grew. People began to accuse Blake of being insensitive, especially since the movie deals with such a heavy topic. Fans who had previously adored her now questioned whether she was the right fit for a role in a film that demanded empathy and emotional depth. The PR situation for both stars spiraled, with Blake's image taking a hit, while Baldoni appeared to be positioning himself as the more serious, grounded one in the public eye.
As a filmmaker, you're navigating personalities. There's all these things that happen every day on set. There's always friction that happens when you make a movie like this. And then at the end of the day, it's that friction, I believe, that creates...
What's really at the heart of all this drama? Some people think it's just classic creative differences, which, let's be honest, happens all the time in Hollywood. It wouldn't be the first time a director and a lead actor didn't see eye to eye on a project. But this situation seems more intense than your usual disagreement. Blake Lively wasn't just the star of It Ends With Us. She was also a producer, which gave her a lot of say in how the film turned out. That added another layer to the conflict. From what we've heard, both Blake and Justin had their versions of the movie. Imagine that, two completely different visions for the same film. This alone shows just how far apart they were in terms of what they wanted for the final product. Blake even went as far as to bring in Shane Reed, the editor of Deadpool, to cut her version of the movie. Things took a turn when Blake Lively accused Justin Baldoni of making her uncomfortable on set. And this wasn't just about creative differences anymore. During a particular scene where Baldoni had to lift Blake into the air, he reportedly asked his trainer how much Blake weighed beforehand. His reason? He wanted to make sure he didn't injure his back. But for Blake, this crossed a line. She felt it was a form of fat shaming, especially since she had just given birth to her fourth child earlier in the year. Understandably, she was hurt by what seemed like an insensitive approach. This accusation added a whole new layer of tension to the already strained relationship between the two. It wasn't just about the movie anymore, it was personal. For Blake, this incident was especially frustrating because it mirrored a similar situation she had experienced back in 2016. At that time, she had also faced accusations of being difficult to work with, and it seemed like history was repeating itself.
Smile on, it's alright.
Right?
Yeah.
They begged me to take that song out of the movie.
Why?
I'm not supposed to be talking about this.
A big issue that stirred up fans is how Blake Lively seems to be more focused on promoting herself than addressing the serious themes of It Ends With Us. While the film tackles domestic violence, a deeply emotional and important topic, Blake has been using her promotional appearances to push her hair brand. It's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Instead of talking about the film's message or raising awareness about domestic violence, she's been focusing on her business ventures. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has been doing the complete opposite. His social media is full of links and resources for people affected by domestic violence, making it clear that he's putting the movie's message first. It creates a stark contrast between the two. Blake's Instagram, on the other hand, is linked to her hair products and other business ventures, which has made fans feel like she's missing the point. Just when things couldn't get more complicated, another issue surfaced on set that added even more fuel to the fire. Blake Lively reportedly accused Justin Baldoni of lingering too long during a kissing scene, which she said made her uncomfortable. Now, kissing scenes are always tricky, but for Blake, this one felt like it crossed a line. She voiced her concerns, and it didn't take long for word to spread about the growing tension between the two. On-set sources say that you could practically feel the tension in the air. Some members of the crew were quick to back Blake, supporting her claims that Baldoni had made her uneasy. Others, however, stood by Baldoni, claiming that he was just trying to stay true to the scene. This division on set only deepened the already existing rift between the two stars. The situation became less about one incident and more about a pattern of growing conflict. It didn't help that by this point, rumors were swirling non-stop and the media was eating it up. Fans were starting to take sides as well, further splitting into Team Blake and Team Justin. This was no longer just a simple disagreement about how to promote a movie. Things had become deeply personal, and the public was watching every move. With these accusations flying around, the drama didn't seem to have an end in sight. What should have been a celebratory time for the cast and crew was instead overshadowed by disputes, and it became clear that things weren't going to settle down anytime soon. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.